Thank you everybody for joining us today. This is the Park Slope Food Co-op cooking class. It happens once a month. We're really excited that you're all here live and in person and on Zoom because this is our first in-person class since the pandemic. Let me turn on this camera briefly. So everybody say hello in our audience, our live studio audience. And Rebecca here will be cooking some tacos for us. So Rebecca Gorena is my really good friend. I'm William Doran. I'm on the cooking squad. And I just briefly want to introduce all the folks that helped make this class happen. Not just today, but over the last couple years and through this class's history. I believe these have been happening since like the 1990s, and they went remote during the pandemic and actually stopped for a while and kind of restarted in 2023. And so now this is our first in-person class. In the Zoom chat, we have Jeff Bonner and Mandira Guy, who are our co-chairs of the squad. We also have a really good tech team. We have Charlie Rogers, who keeps our website up to date. We have Michael Vinzer here off to the left. You probably can't see him on camera, who is really kind of our Zoom master and keeps all of our tech operating during classes and assists me with cameras and shifting and making sure that we capture all the content that's being created so that everybody can see it and enjoy it. We also have Jenny Livingston, who has moderated a bunch of our classes and helped kind of keep us organized and has contributed a lot of really good knowledge from her background in film. We have Susan Kovar, who's here in the audience. There she is. Who does all of our social media, making sure that the information from the classes gets out to everybody. We also have Ronna Welsh, who is a professional chef and author, who has taught some of our cooking classes and is playing sous chef to Rebecca today. We also have Jeffrey Mason, who is also a professional chef and plays a very similar role. You may have also seen him on our Instagram account doing the end cap files. If anybody knows about the end cap near the kind of back corner of the co-op that has all those sort of weird specialty items. So if you check out our Instagram, which is @foodcoopcooks, there are some really interesting adventures that Jeff has taken us on. What are some of the ingredients that you've used, Jeff?
Shiitake mushroom oil.
Shiitake mushroom oil. Something with algae, like an algae oil maybe?
Algae oil.
So anyway, there's lots of interesting ingredients down there that you should check out. We're constantly sharing ideas and talking about all things food and trying to bring all of that excitement to the co-op through these classes. We also have Alana Segal, who does the shop with the chefs. So she takes them through the store and helps them procure groceries for the cooking class and helps produce some video content for us that also goes onto social media. Let's see, did I get everybody? Susan, Jenny, Michael, Charlie. And I do want to thank Jacqueline Scaduto, who's our liaison to the co-op, who has really helped, especially with this in-person class, like really bringing everything together and connecting us to resources and tech and how to arrange the seats in here and making sure we had permission to do things. So huge thanks to Jacqueline. And last but not least, we have my friend Rebecca Gorena. Rebecca was born and raised in South Texas, near the Texas-Mexico border. Mexican-American food is like in her blood, literally, but also, in her family and her heritage. She lived in Austin for a really long time, the capital of breakfast tacos. Is that right? The unofficial capital?
I'd say so, yeah.
Okay. And she's going to be showing us how to make some breakfast tacos today. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Rebecca, and let you get started.
Thanks, William.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Just kidding. Yeah, so my name is Rebecca. Just as William said, I'm like 5th generation South Texas Mexican-American. Went to UT Austin. Lived in Austin for 15 years. You don't need my credentials. You'll eat the food. It'll be fine. But yeah, I moved to New York about 3 years ago, and while there is a breakfast taco game here, it's there could be more. So I very tired of going to coffee shops and only seeing croissants and bagels and really wanting breakfast tacos with my coffee. So I'm in the middle of starting my own business called Hard Feelings Tacos, bringing to you what I deem to be Central Texas breakfast tacos, which are primarily on flour tortillas. So today we're going to be making papa con huevo con frijoles breakfast tacos on flour tortillas. For non-Spanish speakers, that is potato, egg, bean, and cheese tacos. So let's do it. All right, so this is a pretty relatively easy thing to make. I don't necessarily think we're going to take the whole hour, but there is some prep involved that I had done before this. So just going to start with the potatoes. So potatoes are they can be a tricky thing. I'm going to talk to you as I peel. William and I have tried many, many different ways to make breakfast taco potatoes. You can parboil them, you can pan fry them. I have found that my favorite way to do breakfast taco potatoes is to deep fry them. And a lot of people get really scared from deep frying. You don't have to. It's like Rhonda's over there heating about half an inch of olive oil. My biggest advice to you is to just not use anything that's low smoke point. So no avocado oil, no, I don't know, what else is low smoke point? Does anybody know in here?
How's peanut oil?
Peanut oil is fine, but I'm always like terrified that someone I know has a peanut allergy, so I just generally stay away from peanut oil.
Coconut oil?
No, not coconut oil. Do not.
That would add a lot of flavor.
Yeah, that would taste like coconutty potatoes, and I don't want that, and I don't think you want that either. So yeah, I'm just gonna peel these for a minute while the olive oil heats up. And the biggest thing that I learned over many, many years of making breakfast potatoes is that they need the starch to come off if you're gonna fry them. The starch on a potato can really like make the potato stick together and make it soggy when it's in the deep fried oil. So you really want to make sure that you give them a couple of rinses, they sit in water as long as possible. Whenever I'm doing a pop-up, I like to prep the night before, and I will cut up my potatoes and let them sit in water overnight. That they won't get like oxidized or anything. That way they'll keep for about 24 hours. So if you're having like a breakfast taco party, or you just like know that you're going to be hungover in the morning and you're going to want tacos, you can like peel some potatoes, stick them in a bowl with water in your fridge, cover them, and they'll be good to go.
And the potatoes you're going to eat today in your tacos are not these, since they haven't been soaked. We chopped and soaked potatoes.
No, we used all
a lot today.
We used those for, yeah.
Yeah, they're in the tacos.
That's right, the tacos in the oven that are warming. We made about 40 tacos today that you're gonna have that are very good. We've already eaten them. So you're gonna wanna give them a rough chop into cubes. It really does not matter. I would say about half an inch. You can do an inch, however you like your potatoes to taste. Yeah, so I'm gonna just do that. I don't have to be talking this whole time.
Rebecca, what kind of potato do you like?
Well, William had red in his house, so that's what we're using. I prefer Yukon Gold or russet. I would stay away from baby potatoes because they're a pain in the butt. And red potatoes are fine, but honestly, like won't give you the best texture. So I would say, yeah, Yukon Gold or russet. Yukon Gold will get a little bit crispier than russet, but it really doesn't matter that much.
Rinsing them and getting the starch off of the potatoes is really what makes a difference. We even had an experience with that earlier today, prepping the potatoes that are in the tacos that we already made. The first batch didn't soak and they kind of stuck together and sort of fell apart in the oil, but all the subsequent batches were much better because we rinsed them a bunch. And really you want the water to be completely clear before you and you want to dry the potatoes as well before you drop them into the oil so they get nice and crispy.
Yeah, you'll see me do that. And so I don't know if any of you are like into rice. I love rice. But if you cook like short grain rice or sushi rice, if you want individual kernels, you should always either soak and rinse the rice so that the kernels don't stick together. All right, so we have about 4 potatoes. This is the general size that I like. They're gonna actually shrink when you fry them as well. So again, you don't have to be like precise or anything, just make them small.
Did you always peel them?
Yeah, I do not like potato peels.
So the question was, do you always peel them, for folks on Zoom if you couldn't hear that? And the answer was yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna rinse them really quick. You can't really see that.
Here, I'm gonna come in with the camera so people on Zoom can see.
So you can see that the water is like really starchy. I don't know if y'all can see, that's like incredibly starchy. So I'm gonna give it about a couple of rinses off the bat to get rid of some of that starch. And I'm doing this at the beginning so that they can fit in the water as long as possible. All right. And then we'll just, yeah, a couple of rinses. They're really clear now, and then I'll dry them in a minute. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do, these are chile de árbol. Have any of y'all cooked with dry chilies before? See some nods. These are so dangerous. I wish I had gloves right now. I do not have gloves. And the reason that I wish I had gloves is because I can't tell you how many times I have touched the seeds to these, and I wear contacts, and I have touched my eyes afterwards. It's not a move. So if you have gloves, I highly recommend using them when you're working with dried chilies.
And this is just hot water that you're putting on
This
them?
is hot water. So at the very beginning, once your potatoes are soaking, you're gonna want to soak your dried chilies for as long as possible. Make sure they get in there. Some people like to toast them. Some people will throw them into water that they're boiling with their like salsa ingredients. I find that the longer they soak, the less, the more depth of flavor and the less like intense the heat will be. So just have a small ramekin, leave them there, forget about them for a minute, and then you're good. All right, so we're gonna start with the salsa. My salsa is very easy. Every single person has a different way of making their salsa. This is how my grandma did it. So if you don't like it, take it up with her. She can't answer you. But so you're gonna wanna half some tomatoes. These have been washed. It does not matter what type of tomato you use. I generally like a size like this. And this is like very, very, very rough proportioning. Like it really is up to personal taste. I like mine to be a little bit more tomatoey. But I've made like this salsa right here was made with 2 tomatoes only. And so it would yielded about 2 cups. So I would say about 1 tomato per cup of salsa. So yeah, you've got.
We have 1 large onion.
We have 1 large onion. We're gonna take the skin off. You only need to half it. All right. Now we're gonna get this guy going. I've never used before. Uh-oh. You know how to use this?
Uh-oh, let's see.
Fine.
Well, there's a menu.
There, 300. I don't think it matters. That's fine. If you have a stove at home, put it on medium. And throw a little bit of olive oil in there. These go really quickly, so hopefully I don't burn anything. The center of the pan is always the hottest, so you want to look at your vegetables and see which one will take the longest to cook. So I'm going to throw the onion on there in the middle, and then throw some tomatoes around it, and just let it cook for a minute. You're going to want browning on all of the sides for your salsa. If you don't do this, the salsa will be very, I guess fruity is the word. I'm looking for like a very amalgamated depth of flavor salsa. If you do this, it'll be lighter. You'll have more seeds in it. It will be less coagulated. So I always like to toast my ingredients first. I don't need that guy. It's fine. Yeah, so we're going to let that go. We're going to let it brown a little bit. And then I'm going to cut up some garlic if I can find it, because garlic takes longer or less time to cook. So we'll throw that in a little bit later. I'm going to do about 3 cloves. Again, this is all very, very like taste based. So if you don't like garlic, you don't have to put too much in there. What's hot?
Learning a new kitchen is always a
This is not my
challenge.
home kitchen. It's hard. So yeah, got 1 clove in there.
And feel free to ask questions,
Yeah,
folks, as
please
we
ask
go
me any
interrupt.
questions. I know I'm just sort of talking at you and like making decisions. You don't know what I'm doing, but if you have questions, let me know. All right, so 3 cloves. Like to give them a little smash. I've never done it with the skin on. I guess you technically could. That's where all the nutrients are. Sorry, the question was, do I have to peel the potatoes? I feel that it makes it taste a little bit like rougher, like kind of mealier. So I don't particularly like the skins, but if that's your jam, they're your tacos. You do what you want to do. All right, so while that's toasting, I'm going to get rid of this water. All right. Potatoes are drained. Get a dish towel, not like a paper. I mean, I guess you could do paper towels, but they won't. You'll go through a lot of them. So the reason that it's super important to drain the potatoes and make sure there's no water is that if there are water in the potatoes when you're frying them, it's going to splash in your face. I have had that happen to me and had like cuts on my face before. So be very, very careful when you're frying something you just washed. Sweet potatoes. That is not traditional at all, but that sounds delicious. You could definitely do that. I don't know how a sweet potato with egg would taste for my own palate, but I won't stop you. Definitely try it if you want. This is a very deeply savory dish, so I think any kind of sweet potato might throw the flavor off a little bit. But yeah, again, it's up to you. All right, so these are as dry as they're going to get, and I'm going to give them to Rana over here to transfer into a pan of olive oil to fry. All right, so Rana's going to fry them in about a half an inch, a quarter inch of olive oil. I deep fry them because I do them in big batches, but if you are just at home doing like 3 or 4 potatoes for yourself, just enough oil to like get them browned on each side is fine. Oh, you heard that pop? That's from water. Right, and like you can also, I do this by myself all the time. You definitely don't have to have a sous chef. It just might take like a little bit longer. Oh, I'm just lucky. All right, so these guys are browning. You're gonna wanna make sure that they are turning as you see that nice brown color right there. You're gonna want this on all sides. So my onions, you good, Rana? Yeah, okay. And for people on Zoom, you can't smell it, but it smells really flippin' good. All right, so, and my grandma, the most Mexican thing in the world is having a cast iron skillet with foil on it so that you don't have to wash it. I could have done that, but I didn't want to do that, so. I like to deep fry them if I have the time and the oil, but a shallow pan fry is fine with like 1 inch of oil, half an inch of oil.
And that was for the potatoes.
For the potatoes.
Oh,
this is just a splash. I would say like a quarter of a teaspoon, maybe half a teaspoon, depending how much you want in there. All right, so now I'm gonna throw the garlic in. Since it's been a minute. This will take about another like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And while I do that, I'm about to do the scariest thing of this whole process, which is take the seeds out of these chili arbol. No, it's fine. So dried chilies, there's about 1 billion of them. I highly recommend like reading up on them. If you see them at the store, Google them. They're all really different flavors. Mixed together, they can taste very different. The more you put in your salsa, the like more complex the flavor is going to be. I really, really like chile de arbol and sometimes guajillo, but I didn't have any. So just like 1 is fine, but I deeply do not recommend making a salsa without at least 1 dried chili. So these are very small, but they pack so much heat. So I'm using about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of various sizes for what will probably be about 2 cups. If you only want 1, if you don't like spice, only throw in 1. Also, you can like add them as you go along to like sort of figure out what you can handle or what you want. So they're much softer and easier to handle now. So I'm going to cut off one side and then do a vertical incision down the middle. And God help me, take out the seeds with my fingers. One of you in the audience needs to remind me to wash my hands, please. All right. Beforehand, you can, but I find they come out easier, much more this way. And sometimes I like to leave the seeds in if I'm like really trying to like have some heat. So as you can see, there's a ton of them there. Okay.
Yeah, they kind of come spilling out as soon as you cut it.
Yeah, exactly. I will also say that this water is going to be about the spiciest thing you could probably put ever. So if you really, really, really want hot salsa, throw that in there. See what happens. It won't, I don't want it, but I won't eat it. But if you go to Mexico City, that's what they do with their salsas. Is they'll use the soaking water in their salsas, and they're braver than all of the troops combined. All right. Yeah.
The question was, does it have to be dry chili?
You can use fresh. So in my green salsa, I use jalapenos, like fresh jalapenos. And you know, like a red chili is just like a either overripe or underripe jalapeno. So if you use fresh chilies, it's just as good. But for red salsa, I really do prefer dried because the flavor is more complex. All right, so things be toasting. We got stuff that looks about ready. The tomatoes are starting to fall apart. I don't know if you can see, like the skin is coming off really easily. Super quick, super easy. I'm gonna turn that off. How are the potatoes doing, Rana? A little brown? All right. All right. So once they look good to you, doesn't really matter as long as they're cooked a little bit, throw them in the blender. Like a whole onion, all of the garlic. Well, Lord. Careful not to burn yourself. Do as I say, not as I do. I also do not have a fancy Vitamix at home. So if you don't have a fancy Vitamix at home and just have like a regular KitchenAid, this will work too. But I'm thrilled to use this. This is such a, I feel like such an ass using this, but I just really love kitchen tongs. I like, you know, pepperoncini or like whatever from the jar. It's like really easy to get stuff that way. Yeah, they're giant. You can use small ones, but they pick everything up. Also for tortilla flipping, my grandma would like be rolling over in her grave if she saw me not using my hands, but I'm not that strong yet. Huh? Oh yeah, wash my hands. Thank you. I'm gonna do that really quick. All right. So we have all of our veggies in there, and I'm gonna, you can, like I said, you can add a couple at a time and then taste, but I know what I like, so I'm throwing them all in there. Not using my hand. That's another thing about tweezers. You can grab peppers and not have to worry about it. Okay, so I put the garlic in. Yeah, garlic's in there. Yeah, yeah, you didn't see it, but it was floating around with the rest of the stuff. All right, so I also don't like typically measure. If you look at the co-op Instagram, there's like actual measurements that I did out, but here I'm not going to use a spoon. So I would say about like half a teaspoon of cumin. Mexicans put cumin in everything, so I'm very proud of that. A little bit of garlic powder, even though we have garlic already, it's just a little bit more. And then I would love to talk to you today about Knorr.
Potatoes look like
have any of
they're-
you ever used this? It's Knorr, the brand is Knorr, and it's called caldo de pollo, which is basically just chicken bouillon. Literally any Mexican restaurant you go to, I promise you, they have this in the back. This is like the most important thing in every single thing we use. It's in my rice.
Can you hold it up to the camera?
Hire me, brand ambassador.
Rebecca, are these okay?
Those are perfect. Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay,
potatoes are
can you
finished.
show them
Yeah.
the class what they look like?
Oh, class.
Yeah.
The class that's here in front of
Yeah.
us.
They look really lovely. So Rana's gonna drain them on a coffee filter. You can use like paper towels, whatever you want.
It's a video.
And before I do this, it is really the like first rule of frying, pan frying, deep frying, whatever, is as soon as your stuff comes out, salt it immediately. I really cannot live without diamond crystal salt. It's like it's the only thing I know. It's different from kosher salt. It's different from, oh, it is kosher salt. It's different from like thick crystal salt. What? Oh, yeah, salt. So it's very fine. It's different from Morton. So I think I highly recommend before buying it, like trying it out on stuff because it's just a different salt entirely. And I love it. Diamond Crystal kosher salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a maroon and white box.
It's like a different scale of salt granules, so
Yeah.
it's less actual salt per volume.
Correct.
Like it's almost like snow. It's kind of flaky, so you can use it a little bit more liberally and have better control over how much salt you're using.
All right.
Just to jump in, co-op shoppers, we do have them, but they're not with the other providers. So they're down towards in one of those second aisle.
So the question just for everybody on Zoom was about where dried chilies are in the co-op. They're not by produce and other spices. They're near the meat case. 6B. Thank you, Alana.
So you don't want to oversalt your potatoes, but definitely like, be liberal with it. If the oil is still like seeping into the potatoes, so this is when all of the spices are going to absorb. Do not wait, like immediately spice your potatoes. So just to, again, the measurements are on the Instagram. I'm not going to do what I don't do at home. A little bit of cumin, just like sprinkle it over, black pepper on everything. Yeah. Yeah, so salt and any spice immediately. But salt is the most important always. And then a little bit of garlic powder. My biggest pet peeve in the world is unseasoned potatoes and soggy potatoes. Like if you're biting into something that has potatoes in it, it should taste like seasoning, not just potatoes.
And you can hear how crispy they are when you shake them around. I don't know if the microphone's picking it up.
Oh yeah, it's are they compostable?
Probably.
Let's pretend that they are. All right, great. So I'm going to set these aside. These will be ready later when we're assembling. Okay, and they smell very good. What was I doing?
Yes, they
Salsa.
do.
All right, great. So we have everything in here. We're going to, this is my drinking water. We're going to add a little bit of that. I would say about maybe 1/8 of a cup to start with. There's a lot of water in the tomatoes already. So we're going to add more later if it's not thin enough. I have not added my spices yet. So I was saying Knorr chicken bouillon. This is in rice, this is in beans, this is in chicken, this is in beef. It's like literally in any kind of enchiladas, anything you get, we're using it, including in salsa. So usually it comes in a jar, it's already like pre-powdered, but at the store I can only find like the little cubes. So I'm gonna start for about 2 cups of salsa, let's say half a cube. If it needs more, we can do more. And if you're vegetarian or vegan and you don't feel comfortable using powdered chicken, better than bouillon, I guess, if you must, is fine. Like the non-chicken one, and
Come
more
around
also
this
make
side of you so we can
versions as well.
get a good shot of the
All right,
Vitamix in action.
please, I pray, do not harm me. Okay. Woo. That is a machine. Oh my gosh.
Down it goes.
So you're gonna want to let that go for about, well, I guess if you don't have a Vitamix, you would let that go about like 2 minutes. But as you can see, there's still chunks of stuff in there, which is totally fine. You want it to be all like smoothed in. The biggest thing to like note when you're doing this is you don't want it to go too fast, because at the top it'll get frothy, and frothy salsa is like weird and not good. So you want to keep it on like a low speed for a while. So did I put salt? I didn't put salt.
So a question.
What's better, a food processor like a Cuisinart or a blender?
I would say a blender, because in a minute we're going, I mean, I guess a food processor is fine too, but a blender will really, really get everything in there like completely pulverized. So if you have a food processor, that'll work. It doesn't really matter.
And then we had another question about the coffee filter. Is there parchment paper on top of the coffee filter?
No.
So it's just a
Just
coffee
yeah,
filter
just a really big
in a
coffee
baking pan.
That actually is not a coffee filter. It's the same material. It's a air fryer liner. Yeah, but it's the same thing. Yeah.
This was an ad hoc solution to what we had in the co-op's
Yeah.
kitchen.
We didn't have paper towels, but that obviously works just fine. All right, so keep going. And as it's running, You'll notice that it's still a deep red, but the salsa is called salsa naranja, which is orange. It means orange in Spanish. What it's going to give it that orange color that you see right there is olive oil. So as it's going, just add, I would say about 1/8 a cup, maybe like 3 tablespoons. This is a very slow stream, but that's what's happening. And you can see the color start to change. It's like a super slow stream, but yeah. All right. Beautiful. So with anything, including salsa making, it's really, really important to taste as you go along because you could really ruin something that way. Spoon. All right. So the texture is looking good. Everything, it looks like that, which I know I'm on the right track. Not too frothy. Excuse me. That's really hot, but it's good. It's good. It needs a little bit more salt, so I'll add some more salt and pepper. Just a little bit. And it needs more oil, surprisingly. So the reason that you want oil in this is to really make it like a glossy texture, a little bit thicker. If it's just tomato and water, then it's going to be like liquidy and it won't like sit on the tacos well enough. So the oil, it's olive oil. It's not that unhealthy. You're fine. All right. So a little bit more.
Do you ever use paper towels to drain the potatoes?
To drain the, yeah, you can. Yeah, totally. People seem to have a lot of questions about draining potatoes. I promise, whatever you use, it's going to be fine. Just, yeah.
As long as they're dry.
All right. So that's it. Super easy. Like literally the easiest thing you can do. Something I'm not going to do today that you can absolutely do if you want. We're going to hopefully drink this today or use it. But if you want to make salsa like for the week or for, 3 weeks, it'll keep up to 3 weeks, but you have to toast it in oil. So if I were to be putting this in the fridge and like making my own batch of salsa, like for chips or whatever for mornings, I would put about a tablespoon, maybe half a tablespoon of oil in the pan and then let it cook down for about 10 to 15 minutes. That will really make sure, I don't know the science behind it. I don't pretend
So
to.
you put oil in the pan and then add some of the made salsa.
Add the salsa, let it cook. It actually will create a better texture than this, but this is still fine. So if you want to go the extra mile, I would highly recommend like cooking it for a little while.
How long would you typically
this
cook
one and
it?
look how pretty it is. What?
How long would you cook it down typically?
15 minutes.
So not very
15,
long.
20 minutes. No, not very long. But anyway, here it is. Oh, I wish that y'all had brought Tupperwares because I don't know what I'm going to do with all this. I'm not going to eat it. There she goes. All right. So that's salsa. Super easy. Does anybody have any questions about the salsa before I move on to other things?
You have paper cup.
If you want,
Oh, that's a good
if you
idea.
run downstairs, buy a bag of chips. Like you can also do that. It's great. All right. So no. All right. Cool. Now we're gonna finish up with tacos. All right. So we have the potatoes. Those have been sitting out. It doesn't matter how if they get cold, that's fine. The residual heat from the tortillas will make everything hot and like go together pretty well. So can I have, actually you're already done. So can we start heating some tortillas?
Yeah.
All right. So Ron is going to heat tortillas. These are in the co-op. I'm very picky about, well, I'm going to talk about them for a second. I'm really picky about my tortillas and I'm not even a co-op member, but I'm going to plug these because I was like genuinely surprised how delicious they are. I usually get HEB my tortillas. My mom puts them, I put them in a suitcase. She puts them in a box and puts it in the mail. So if you come eat my tacos, like at a pop-up, they have been shipped from Texas. They're HEB butter tortillas. But I did not have those today. So these are in the co-op. They're $1.89, which is insane. It's such a great price. And they're a little bit on the bigger side, but they are delicious. The biggest mistake that I see a restaurant or a person, period, make is not heating up your tortillas. I went to a party one time and somebody took a tortilla out of the bag and filled it and gave it to me. And I left. So please don't do that. I beg you. They're not like completely raw. A raw tortilla, you'll know what it looks like. It's like sticky and you have to like take it out. These are like partially cooked and need to be heated. And we'll show you what like a perfect tortilla looks like. But yeah, I would say about once the pan is at like a medium high heat. Cast iron is best if you have a comal, obviously that's better, but a cast iron works great. This also would be fine. You're gonna want to do like 30 seconds per side. Once you see the bubble on the tortilla, it's time to flip it. So yeah.
What about corn tortilla?
You can. You can. Yeah, I have a lot of gluten-free friends who, Anna, if you're watching this, I love you. That's how you know. I always have a pack of tortillas, corn tortillas at a pop-up. It's just not the same. Like Texas style is, unless it's barbacoa. Barbacoa still on flour is better, but sometimes we do corn. Flour is where it's at. Like it's just, there's a lot of breakfast tacos we make have like chorizo, which is very greasy. And so the grease will be absorbed in the flour tortilla and just be like really delicious. And so if you eat gluten, please just eat a flour tortilla. Like you don't, corn is wonderful. I love corn tortillas, amazing on lunch tacos, any kind of meat. But for eggs, like there's something really great about just like flour and eggs.
I do remember at one point I asked you if you ever use corn tortillas, and you said no, I'm not a monster.
Yeah, but I don't want to offend anybody. I'm here to represent you. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, so Rhonda's going to be flipping tortillas. Now we're going to do the eggs. I actually learned something today that I'm excited to share with you about eggs. I like to do, oh, Lord. All right, here's a fun trick. I'm glad this happened, actually, I promise. If you get a piece of eggshell because you're nervous and you're teaching a class, take another piece of eggshell and just scoop it out. I don't know why that works.
It does work like a charm.
But it works like a
before,
charm.
too.
There it is. So you don't get your fingers all nasty like that. Yeah. These eggs have also been sitting out. And so hot tip, like they are a lot easier to crack and a lot more volatile. Like you will get eggshells in your eggs if they are not cold eggs. So lightly tap them on a voila, flat surface. You don't want, another thing to not do, don't ever do that because the shell will get in and the egg will break. So flat surface.
Question in the chat, are there any good substitutes for flour tortillas that are gluten-free and aren't?
Yeah, so non-corn flour-ish tortilla alternatives. Siete is a great brand. I think the co-op carries Siete. They have like cassava flour, I think, that tastes pretty decent. Yeah, so that's the only one I've ever tried. I'm sorry. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're making these at home, I would say if you really want like a full taco, 1 egg per taco. But if you are like in a pinch or you don't really care about your guests, one egg for 2 tacos works as well. Okay, so we have 6 in here. I'm gonna use my water again. Milk is usually what I go for, but I forgot it. So a little bit of water will help get the eggs mixed together really well. So if you've ever done like an egg wash on like a puff pastry or like a biscuit or something, you always put water or milk to like make sure that everything is together. So pop each of the yolks. How are we doing on tortillas?
Good. A little
Do you
brown,
want-
okay?
Let me see.
Like that?
A little bit more. Yeah, a little bit more. Are they starting to bubble on each side?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we can turn the heat up a little bit.
So something I learned today that I did not know before today and making 40 tacos for all of you was that if you crack the eggs and whisk them and leave a little bit of water and leave them out, they will change color into like this really deep, beautiful, like orange color. We're using the same eggs now as we did earlier. And we left them out for about 5-10 minutes and it just became very, very orange, like almost that color. So if you want to fake it, that you have like those really fancy farm fresh eggs, you can just do that. All right, so what eggs are whisked?
Beautiful.
This is like debatable. Some people salt them when they're done. Some people salt them when they're in the pan. I don't care. I think it does not matter. I put salt and pepper now, so because otherwise I will forget later.
I think salting them ahead is what causes that change in color to happen.
Amazing. Well, then that's why they changed the color, because I salt ahead.
I'm not sure what the science is behind it, but
Yeah. Okay.
I think it has to do with the salt.
So salt on the less side, if they're not salty enough for you, seasoned enough for you, you can always add salt later. But at the beginning, you really want to be a little bit more conservative with the salt. So I put about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in 6 eggs. If you really want to be extra, you can do 1/2 teaspoon. All right. Eggs are ready. What else? Potatoes are ready. Off camera, if you really, I mean, if you just send me a message, I'll tell you what my bean recipe is. But I made some refried beans. I think that tacos should always have a layer of refried beans. They're delicious. I basically just got canned beans and did exactly what I did with onion and jalapeno and garlic. Added it to a blender, added the beans to a blender, cooked them down. That's it. Salt, pepper. Super easy to make refried beans.
We can add that to the website for the class.
Totally. All right. So now I'm going to cook my eggs. Something smells like it's burning. It's a tortilla. Okay. Let me show you what a burnt tortilla looks like. Yeah. That's totally fine. Edible, delicious, but
A little less.
Show
Yeah, little
the hold it up for the folks here.
yeah. So that can happen if the heat's too high. Just like you want to keep an eye. Yeah, that's perfect. Right there. Can you show them what that looks like?
Yes.
Yeah.
And show the class.
Yeah, a little bit of freckling, not like big,
Thank
not
you,
too
Chef
much.
Anna.
Look at that.
Oh wow, it's like really puffing up.
Yes, tortillas in a dry pan. Good question. Thank you. That's perfect. Once you see them start to puff like that, that's what you're looking for. All right, so I didn't wash this. I think it will give the eggs a better flavor, but you can wash them. It's fine.
How did you come up with the name Hard Feelings Taco?
I'm a Cancer, like deeply, and so water signs feel things a lot. And I like ask my friends, "What do you think I should name my business?" And they're like, "Well, you have a lot of feelings." So, and my logo was like a little taco with a tear on it, which I think is funny. So I wish I had a better story. I really identify with being a Cancer. That's it.
I do like that you can say hard feelings, soft tacos.
Hard feeling soft tacos. Yeah, that was really what sold it. Also, if I ever want to sell my salsa one day, like hard feeling salsa, whatever. It is what it is. All right. So you can use oil. I prefer butter. Butter makes everything better. I have about a tablespoon here, and we're going to just I think everybody here, you like food, so you know how to cook eggs, I hope. So we're gonna let the butter melt a little bit. Definitely use a spatula, rubber spatula. Please don't ever come near my all-clad pans with anything but a rubber spatula or a wooden spoon. You can also use a wooden spoon. So yeah, we're gonna get that butter melted. I have this, I'm assuming, at what is a medium-low heat. William and I have a lot of conversations about eggs, and they differ. Our approaches differ. William likes to cook on high heat really fast, and what that's going to do is give you like it's going to be quicker, but the eggs will not be as soft. I really like soft, steamy eggs. If you've ever been to Buvette in the West Village, that is my dream egg. It's like they'd steam them in the coffee, the milk steamer on a coffee espresso thing. It's insane. I don't know how they do that, but I prefer a soft egg. So I start on medium-low heat. Butter's melted. Well, let's just throw all that in there. Looking good. I think we only need like 4, 5, 6 max. You're all gonna get a taco, don't worry. All right, so you're gonna have the urge to touch it. Don't. Just let it sit there for like a good minute or two. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna set, like sort of like you're cooking an omelet. And then what we're gonna do in a minute is, while I wash this bowl, is make ribbons that you'll see in a minute. So just hold tight.
If anyone wants to come closer to see a little bit better, you're more than welcome to. We need like a big screen. Not much is happening yet.
All right, I don't know how to use this thing, so I'm praying that it's the right temperature. I guess we'll find out.
It looks like it's starting to
It's at
solidify a little bit.
120. I might turn it up a little bit to 140. And
So the question was, why do I like high heat? Yes, I have a lot of opinions about eggs also. So when I scramble eggs, I season them first. I also add like just a little splash of vinegar, which helps like tighten up the proteins a little bit. And then when you cook it on high heat, all of the water that's in the eggs immediately boils and bubbles and gives them a lot of lift. So you get a lot more volume when you cook the eggs, and they cook super, super fast. So it's a very different texture and feel, but I think equally delicious to the way that Rebecca does her eggs.
I'm not hating on your eggs. They're good eggs.
We can have an egg off if you really want to.
Have an egg off. Y'all don't need to be there for that. Don't worry. We'll post about it, I guess. So you can see that the egg is starting to sort of stick to the spatula, but not enough. So again, I'm going to turn it up. Y'all are all learning with me. I don't know. Induction burners are just a shot in the dark. I don't know anything about them. So yeah, we'll sit and wait.
We could also go over to the stove if it's giving you a lot of problems.
How's it? Yeah. How are you doing? You good?
Great.
Okay, cool.
What kind of vinegar?
I typically go for something that doesn't have a lot of intense flavor. Like I've never used like a balsamic vinegar or anything. The question was what type of vinegar in eggs? Usually like a rice wine vinegar or just any white wine vinegar, just a little bit, just a splash. You could also use lemon juice, also works.
Okay, so you can see that I'm constantly stirring. That's because the ribbons are starting to form. So they're like starting to get chunky, like a little bit of chunky eggs. You want to if you're cooking on a low heat, you want to constantly stir. Even if this is a non-stick pan, even if you have a non-stick pan, they will stick. So like, don't trust anybody ever. So I'm also playing with the heat, as you can see. Like I don't want them to burn, but I also don't want them to sit there forever. So if you're making eggs, it really is just like a fine little dance.
Well, I find too, you kind of get to know your stove and you'll know the settings that you need to cook eggs how you'd like.
Yeah, whenever I'm looking for an apartment, like a electric stove is an immediate no. Like I have to have a gas. Also because again, I'm Mexican and I toast things directly on the flame. So can't do that with electric. But yeah, so for those of you on Zoom, you can see that it's kind of starting to stick at the bottom like that. Just use your spatula, make sure that doesn't happen. It's going to stick in the middle a lot, especially because that's the center of the heat. I guess not on an induction burner, but all right, so we're almost there. You can, some chefs will tell you do like the clock, so pull this way. I don't care about that either. I think it doesn't really make a difference, but this is the sort of texture that we're going for. It's like a nice ribbony, soft.
Maybe once they solidify, you can kind of hold it
Yeah,
up for the audience.
I will absolutely do that. All right. So we're going to have about maybe another one or two more minutes.
Question about the spatula.
Yeah.
It's like rubber and
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I use both. So whatever's at Restaurant Depot, bye-bye.
So the question was if rubber spatulas or silicone are similar heat resistant. So Rana just said that the red handle is heat resistant and the white is not, you said?
All right, these are looking Gucci. And as they're starting to get like fluffy and set, turn the heat down so that they don't stick. I don't necessarily like my eggs to be super wet. I think that can get runny and kind of like nasty really quick. But I do not like a hard egg at all. So also you get more bang for your buck if they're a little bit looser.
Just to cook it out for the next hybrid class. Eggplant with flavor derby. Wednesdays, number 24. Wednesdays.
Awesome.
All right, great. So this is done. This is what my dream egg looks like. If you don't agree, I don't want to hear it. Sometimes if I'm in a pinch, I will this is shredded cheese that we shredded ahead of class. Never buy shredded cheese, buy a block and shred it. I promise you it makes a difference. You can mix it all in and just add it that way, but I like to have a layer of shredded cheese on top of my eggs. All right, so now we can assemble.
what kind of cheese, for example?
Cheddar, white cheddar, yellow cheddar. In South Texas, Central Texas, you'll notice that all of our enchiladas, everything have yellow. It's bright yellow. It's because we use that kind of cheddar. All right, I'm gonna taste for really quickly, which you should, like I said, always taste. It's good. Doesn't need salt. Doesn't need pepper. Perfect amount. All right, so then just make a little assembly line for yourself. Don't be messy like me. Oh. All right, we got some tortillas. Thank you, Rana. Oh, these are incredibly hot and also beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. That is what a good tortilla looks like. You want it to, my ideal tortilla, you can be able to do that with it and then fold it back out. So you don't want it to be crispy because that is perfect right there. All right. I have a spoon for my beans and tray.
And take that one.
There you go. And this, you're done. You're pretty much done. So
All the parts are assembled.
tortilla. I like to always start with like a layer of beans first because you should get, my bone to pick with burritos is that you get a bite of something and it's like just rice or it's just meat or just cilantro, whatever. Breakfast taco should not be like that. It should be a mix of everything in one bite. All right, so beans, I think it's, my personal taste is putting cheese down first. So the hot ingredients you put on top of the cheese will melt the cheese into the beans and on the tortilla. If not, then if you put it on top, then it's just like you're biting cold cheese. It's not good.
Somebody just asked, what are the ingredients of the bean mix?
Toasted white onion, yellow onion, not sweet, just like regular. So like half an onion per can of beans. So we'll put this online. Half an onion toasted, about 2 garlic cloves per 1 can, half a jalapeno also toasted, cumin, this, salt, pepper. That's it. Super easy.
And what kind of beans did you use?
Pinto.
Pinto
You can
beans.
use
So they
black
were
beans
just
too, but-
canned.
Yeah, I prefer pinto. All right, now do a layer of scrambled eggs right through the middle. The fat boy right there. And then some potatoes on top. So there's a potato in every bite. That's it. That's literally it.
I'm gonna get
You did
a
it.
close-up shot.
Amazing. That's what the breakfast taco should look like. If it doesn't, you're in trouble. And you know what? Oh, for people
Now
at
let's
home,
put a little bit of salsa on it.
hope you all have a Tupperware in your bag. Yeah. All right, that's it. I'm about to make a couple more for people who want to eat them right now, but that's it.
So, no cilantro for it?
You can put whatever you want. Cilantro, I like to put pickled red onions that I make on top of them too. That can be a nice little like acidic pop. Yeah, avocado, great. I mean, it's really up to like your personal taste. A lot of people I know are really allergic to avocado, like really stinks for them. But this is like the base, I think, of what a good taco should look like. Yeah, great. Does anybody have any questions? Huh?
Mm.
I'm gonna make another while I answer.
Any questions from the audience? I can come bring my mic over.
Yes, you can definitely freeze them. They'll
You
be
can freeze them. That was the
put them
question.
in foil and then put them in a plastic bag, freeze them, pop them in the microwave. It'll like make the tortillas soft again. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, super easy.
You say freeze the whole taco.
I mean, you can freeze parts of it too, like, but you can just freeze the whole taco. It's a lot easier. I would not recommend refrigerating them unless you're gonna eat them like the next day. So it's just, they'll get soggy and weird, and everyone wants a fresh taco.
Would you have any opinion on if they're best eaten by hand or with a knife or a fork?
If you use a knife and a fork, I swear I will find
You're in
you.
big trouble.
Do not use a knife and a fork.
Sound good, authentic.
Yeah, oh my gosh. If I'm eating a taco, I'm immediately going to Taqueria Ramirez. That is the best taco in New York, like hands down, full stop. Their carnitas, if you haven't heard, they have a second location in the East Village called Carnitas Ramirez, and it's every part of the pig. That is like fantastic. Where else do I eat? I live in Bushwick. Taqueria Ramirez. It's
And
in-
we can send these out to
yeah, it's
everybody.
in Greenpoint. It's so good.
Yeah, for folks here and people online, we recorded the class and we post it to our YouTube channel once the class is done. We'll kind of edit it down to make it a little bit more concise. But
If you want like a little bit like a fancy Mexican brunch, there is Atla in NoHo. It's Enrique Olvera's his protege. Her name was Daniela Soto Inez. Huge chef crush on her. She opened it and left, but it's like the best brunch. It's so good. Tacos are amazing. My other favorite taco in the city is it's in Williamsburg. It's called Ese Taco, which is the same. It's ESSE Taco. And it's Enrique Olvera, who's like a very prominent chef in Mexico City. He also does Cosme in Flatiron, somewhere in Manhattan. But his like casual taco place is unbelievable. And the best thing about it is that his fancy restaurant, it's like a Michelin star, I think, in the city, has a dessert that's a corn husk meringue that is so good. And but it's like $1 billion. I still go, but it's, you know, it's delicious. But at SA Taco, you can get it in an ice cream for like $6, and it's wildly good. I live in Bushwick, so there's like a lot of really good stuff. Sobre masa is so good. Oh my gosh, they have like a masa program that is like really incredible. And if you ask them nicely, they will give you can buy tortillas from them. So it's SOBRE masa, MASA. Really fantastic servers there. Their mezcal program is like out of this world. And then I think just get on the 7 train, go to Corona, get off. Like, just, you should all be on the 7 train. Everybody should be eating on the 7 train. I love to like do a stop in Corona and then Jackson Heights and then end in Flushing, when I probably should have gone home after Corona. But like all of the vendors immediately off of the Corona stop on the 7 train are just like really incredible food. And yeah, of course, I could talk about this like literally all day. So I'll send out some more recs with William.
Yeah, we'll make sure that that gets sent out to everybody.
Yeah.
When these videos stay,
Sorry?
the videos are gonna be stayed on there.
Yes.
Yeah, they stay
Yeah.
up. It's a YouTube channel. Yeah, it's Food Co-op Cooks, I believe is the handle. We can put a link.
So you saw that I used 6 eggs. That made 4 tacos, and they're very, very generously filled. These are really big boys. Like, these tortillas are big. The ones that I use are a little bit smaller, but it really just depends how big you like yours. And as you can see, I use 5 potatoes and have like plenty left over. So that's pretty much it. 4
Okay.
very large tacos.
Any other questions from folks in the chat? Has anybody dropped any questions? Or any other questions from everybody here? Okay.
Just for getting rid of people.
Yeah. If you go to any Asian grocery store, they have like this, they sell them in packets. I don't know what they're called, but you can sprinkle them in the oil and it'll like turn it into a jelly, and you can just throw it away that way. It's so great.
Would love to get advice on how to make the tortillas that soft. Where do you stack them? Do you put them inside cloth as they come off the pan, or
Good
how do you
question.
do that?
Yeah, I heard you. I'll repeat it for everybody. Cynthia, I believe, wanted to know how to make tortillas so soft and that's a great question. I'm sorry I didn't answer it earlier, because it's very easy to get like stale, crunchy tortillas, which you don't want. We like moved really quickly through this, so it's fine if you don't have like a warmer or something. Put them between a towel. Like, get a towel, fold it, and as your tortillas come off of the pan, put them in there, and just like the steam will residually keep them warm. If you do that, they'll stay warm for like 15, 20 minutes. So it'll give you plenty of time to like do this. Yeah, everybody loves this. Do it for brunch. It's really fun. Thank you so much. So my Instagram is Hard Feelings Tacos if you only care about tacos, but if you want more like cooking content that goes beyond Mexican food, I do have an Instagram that's Rebecca Can't Bake, because it's true, I cannot bake. My partner bakes, but I'm like always on there experimenting, doing other stuff, and like making content. So follow me, DM me, ask me questions. I have lots of answers.
And you can find more info about Rebecca at foodcoopcooks.org. It's got all the information from the class, the recipes. Our Instagram is the same handle, Food Co-op Cooks. And we have links to all the chefs that have done classes on there. If you want to see photos, content, it's all there. Follow us, and upcoming classes will also be announced both on Instagram and on the website. And usually the co-op itself will pick up our content and try to disseminate it so folks know what's going on. And our next class, they posted in the chat, is in September 24th.
Great.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in.